happy Friday. Terri Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here, coming to you live and in person for our Friday AMA. I'm beginning to realize that Leo Holzer has probably realized, I'm beginning to realize that Leo Holzer, the best sidekick in the world, if you will, has stopped sending me questions, and I think it's because he can jump on and just ask me them in the comments like you can. Ask me anything. We're going to talk about a few Star Wars things I noticed, like my friend Laura sent me an announcement that Disney has a new lightsaber available. I have no idea what that is. And also I read about the passes, the annual passes. So we'll talk about Disneyland, Disney World's annual passes, which are not called that, nor will they be. If you saw that article from Walt Disney World News, I think is the website that was sent to me. And thank you for that, whoever did that. And that helps me to help you. Keep you posted and keep you knowing stuff. We'll talk as much, I will talk about Disneyland stuff, Star Wars stuff, and then we're going to go. So as you load your questions over here, and you can ask me anything. It can be about Ghostbusters. It can be about Jim Henson. It can be about Michael Jackson. It can be about Captain EO. It can be about movies I've done, Men in Black, Jungle to Jungle, people I've met, Liz Taylor, Michael Jackson, Sidney Poitier, Dolly Parton. It can be about anything. It can be about my hair. It can be about my heritage. It can be about anything, okay? If it's inappropriate, I will let you know. But you guys are always so good so far. So happy Friday. Again, I am Terri Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer. I am still Imagineer, known as the Come Here, Get Away Imagineer, or an independent contractor. A mutual decision between me and Disney because I wanted to keep my company. And I also wanted to help Disney with whatever they needed. And so we came to this agreement, and it is choice for me. So that's how that happened. If you're just joining us on YouTube or you're watching us after the live, thank you. Please consider subscribing. But understand, it's not, the subjects are all over because my brain is. Sometimes I'll talk about movies that have absolutely nothing to do with Disney, but being an actress, performer, puppeteer, etc., Google me if you have no idea who I am, or just look in the playlist on my YouTube channel. I'm working harder and harder to put more content in there. This has been a really challenging week for me, good and bad, but thanks to my friends, especially Terry's Tribe, which is my Patreon page. We had a nice discussion this morning. They really helped me to feel better and wrap their love around me. And this is what I love about the tribe. We talk about stuff that I can't talk about necessarily publicly. We talk about privately on our private Facebook page. Just $5 a month allows you to be a part of the tribe, and your voice is extremely welcome. And here's where you go to join. If you want to join, just go to this here, click on, and then you join. It's a membership site, full disclosure. I'm never going to lie to you and say it's free. It costs at least $5 a month, but for $5 a month, you get those earlier broadcasts privately and a Zoom call every week. So I would love to have you join. I would love to have your voice in the mix. There's so many things that we talk about and so many things that we share. And if somebody is hurting, we help each other. And if somebody is creating art, we help each other. So if it's something you would like to be a part of, please go here and join. Yeah. Go there and join. So let's talk about a few things. I'm going to pull up my phone here because I have my cheat sheet. Oh, great. All right. Never mind. Just the week trying to encroach on our fun day. All right. Okay. So hopefully it's still here. Prayers. Oh, there's another thing here. What's happening with the Matterhorn at Disney? Let's find out. What's happening with the Matterhorn at Disneyland? They were emotional and for good reason on April 30th as Disney finally reopened. That's you guys. Did you go? I know my friend Robert Anderson was very emotional. He said that he had a great time and he went Friday and Saturday. Some Disneyland rides including our beloved bobsleds were still closed. Now we can see why the Matterhorn bobsleds are still closed, especially the way you sit bobsled style with COVID-19. Okay. That would be a little challenging for cast members to make sure you're safe in that situation. So that's very interesting. So they're talking about here how you guys have loved this roller coaster ride and all the refurbishments and issues that this Matterhorn has experienced. They want to know what's going to happen with the bobsleds. Iconic classic ride. Third Man on the Mountain. It was featured. Steel roller coaster ride. Very first of its kind in 1959. Debuted June 14th, 1959. I was actually 1.5 years old. Would be 2 years old in 1959. That would be me I'm talking about. Let's see. They say glass beads and gallons of paint were used to make the gorgeous mountain look like the Swiss Alps. And Tinkerbell flew from it, remember? Like a real Tinkerbell, not the video version, which was always very special and wonderful. People talk about riding each track both times over 100 times. That's easy though, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, it talks about swooping in and out of caves, climbing into the 2-person bobsled. So it's really real. And let's say, and an abominable snowman will do anything to protect his home. So let's see what we got here. So it is going through, and you guys probably all know this, it's going through extensive refurbishments, it says here. And it's going through routine maintenance, which if you've seen some of these other rides, they've done some refurbishment. If you've been to Disneyland, and right now it's only California, I'm sorry, but right now you go in and it's really so clean and beautiful and sparkly across the board. They really used their downtime when they were closed to get stuff done. I was very impressed when I went. They're talking about some of the issues that they're having with the Matterhorn is there is decay inside the mountain. Now, if you were someone who went to Disneyland early, you may remember the sky buckets went through the Matterhorn mountain and you could actually see the bobsled ride from the sky in action from the sky buckets. And that was seriously cool. But then they decided that they were going to close that off. They were going to get rid of the sky buckets and they were going to close that mountain off. And that would help keep it from deteriorating so much, because if it rained, that rainwater was getting in and ruining the infrastructure. So I would imagine that's what this is. And it says they're working on Imagineers are working on decaying supports, replacing tracks, and due to current building codes, Disney cannot take it to the ground and rebuild it. You understand that, right? Because what you do is you can stay what they call grandfathered in with building codes as long as you don't dismantle everything to zero. Now, they could take it down maybe like part way, which is what they're probably doing, is Imagineers can take it down to maybe like strip off the out and make the inner, the way it is. And maybe they did that. I don't know. We weren't there for a year. That would have been a good time to do it, is to just rip stuff off and just keep certain things in place so that the grandfather still worked. Because if not, they would have to completely follow current building codes. And as I mentioned before, Disney is so small with us. Let me just do you guys a favor and take this banner off. You now know that Patreon, I've left it up enough, huh? Yeah. Okay. All right. Back to this. But anyway, so they could go as far as they could, but if they take it all the way down, they're subject to some really heavy rules. So one of the things is that, as many of you know who go to Disneyland, they are limited on their Disability Act access. So you know that if you are someone in a wheelchair, a scooter, have a cane or whatever, you have challenges in this case that they have a special pass for you because back in the day, they didn't have to be ADA compliant. So this is another thing that they may have to, with the bobsleds, they would have to do that I don't think have done. So this is another thing. It would take a lot to make it that with such a small footprint. So these are some of the things that Imagineers have to think about, just so you know. Okay, so they're working on stages due to the code. They can do what they can to get the ride safely built again. And Inside the Magic has some pictures here. Several decades old, they mention. And the time of the reopening has not been the opening date has not been announced. And now they're asking if it could be reimagined. Of course, anything could be reimagined, but do we want it to be reimagined? And let's see, this is InsideTheMagic.com. I want to credit InsideTheMagic.com, or ITM, is the one that has got this article to me, and I want to thank them for that. Very, very good of them to send this to me, because I'm always looking to talk to you about this. And many of you know that the last refurbishment was for the Disneyland 65th in 2015. They refurbished it. So yay. Right now, it hasn't been open. They're talking about it. They're talking about Jungle Cruise and Buzz Lightyear should be reopened this summer. Isn't that good news? So there you go. This was not exactly the article that I talked about in my thumbnail, but it is a good one. It is a very good one. The one I wanted to talk about that has to do with my thumbnail is WDW News Today, better known as WDWNT.com. This is someone I love. I think they do a great job, and you guys probably know them as well. They do a great job. And whoa, all of a sudden the internet, it's just must be the weather, because we are very overcast here. If I'm popping in and out, my apologies. It's just sometimes my internet comes and my internet goes, or it's Friday and that they've got stuff to do, who knows. But this is about the annual pass. And the one thing I wanted to say is that at a talk with shareholders, Bob Chapek, he avoided saying the word annual pass, okay? And here's, in a nutshell, why he said that. He felt that the way the system was before with annual passes, that those of us who are annual pass holders were going to Disneyland and not spending enough to make them, Disney, want to keep annual passes. This is kind of what he says, right? It wasn't giving the shareholders enough return on investment, or ROI. So it looks like he's preparing us all for more cost, which we kind of figured, less perks. That's the part we were kind of hoping we wouldn't have to deal with. But it sounds like more cost, less perks. Basically, it's kind of telling us, be ready. So the new Disneyland membership program, he's calling it, will happen sometime this year. They will break out and announce it but it's going to have some major changes, guys, just as we kind of suspected. It's going to have some major, major, major changes. He avoided using the word annual pass for the replacement program. He referred to it as Park Loyalty Program or the Affinity Program and Frequent Visitor Program. Okay. And he says right here, per guest spending across Disneyland resort pass holders was inconsistent. This is what he's talking about. Us. We weren't spending enough money. And the new program is aimed to get an adequate return to their shareholders. So you see how they're saying that? It's a good way to say it, actually. Not saying we want more money. They're saying our shareholders need more ROI or return on investment. So the new programs, guys, dun, 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 are aimed at getting adequate return to shareholders for the experience that we give our guests. Unquote. Quote unquote. They feel the old program was offering too much at an inadequate, listen to this, guys. He feels they were offering too much at an inadequate price point. Too cheap. Let me say that again. Not charging enough money for it. And because their spending was not strong enough among these pass holder guests. We weren't buying enough. And full disclosure, the only time I bought stuff was when I was visiting people in the park and signing things. And then they had a little child and I said, why don't we go in and get a gift? And I would buy something for that child so that they could remember that day. So I will admit I didn't spend money every time. I was running in, signing autographs, running out, So I can see what they're saying, but I can't see, I don't know. It's craziness. Anyway, that's what he's saying. And new programs, and according to WDW News Today, this would indicate, this would indicate that the new programs will have guests paying more money for less days of access and maybe even lesser benefits. But it remains to be seen once it's actually announced and the program will launch. This is the pass holder program will launch before the end of 2021. It may be December 31st, 2021. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I have no crystal ball in this. But there you go. That was the thing I really wanted to share with you guys today, because that's kind of, you remember that I said before the pandemic, Disney was trying to figure out how to phase out annual pass holders. Well, now I think that was a bit extreme on my part, and I want to apologize for that. I want to say that they wanted to restructure it so that they're having more return on what they started with. In the beginning, pass holders were there to make people, to save them in the dark times. So you used to have a big wave of people going to Disneyland, and then there was a lull, like between the school year starting and Thanksgiving. And in between there, that's when pass holders really came to the rescue of the parks, because we were going and going and going. That's different now, isn't it? Everybody's going. There's more people who love it. We go all the time, So this is their restructuring, and we'll have to decide as, and I just hope they offer parking. Please offer parking. That's really the main reason I was there, because offering parking. And as soon as you can. This is the manufacturer for the ghosts I just chatted with right here. They are delayed. Nothing but delays. Anyway, there you go. The other thing was a new Star Wars lightsaber. Let me just pop that in because I promised you guys I would, and then we'll get to the AMA, okay? All right, just bear with me here. I'm going to pull up her message about new lightsaber. New lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge. Oh, it's a YouTube.
So a couple reasons why I love HelloFresh.
And it's got an ad.
So convenient.
Let's see.
Everything is prepackaged.
Maybe the guy's going to show it to us. So what I'll do, guys, rather than tell you about this, is Google new lightsaber, and you can watch it on YouTube. I'm not going to sit and watch it now. Yesterday was a very rough day, and the day before was a very rough day for me. I didn't do much anything, but feel sorry for myself and draw. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so let's jump over to the Q&A and hear what you have to say. And I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. And that's the pass holder news that I have. And thank you, WDW News Today, for sharing that with me so I could share it with you guys. It may be stuff you know already. And if you have anything to impart here, it doesn't have to be a question. You can make a comment. Please make a comment. Okay? All right, here we go. Shelby says hello. And happy Friday, Shelby. The way you spelled Friday makes me want French fries now. Do you have French fries on your mind? Because you just made me hungry for French fries. I haven't eaten them in a long time. Now I got to go get French fries. Thank you, Shelby. Good morning and happy Friday. Yes, Tracy, how are you? Hello, Joseph. How are you, my friend? Last Friday, I about fell over the back of my chair. And wasn't it you or Michael Clarkey that just nailed me? You got me last week on Friday, and that happens a lot. Good morning, Michael. Hello, Rose. Watching you while I'm on Zoom with my students. Take care of yourself. Well, tell your students I say hello, students. And if at any time you want me to come and chat with them, Rose, you know I'm at your service. Bob says, you are truly amazing. Just the fact that you're a trooper. I appreciate you. Thank you, Bob. Thank you very, very much. Angie Floyd, happy to see you today. She says, I would like to ask you for your thoughts and prayers. My dad has been hospitalized due to pneumonia and is on a ventilator. Okay, Angie, sweetie, you got him. Okay. Just a quick moment of silence for your father. And know that I love you, and know that we love you, and that we're sending hugs and support your way, okay? And we pray that he will be better for you. This is a tough time to be sick, isn't it? So I'm thinking about you, and my heart goes out to you. And we love you, girl. Okay? Okay. I'm sorry to hear he's sick. Any Dolly Parton story for me is great. Okay, Joseph. So did I tell you about my Dolly Parton story? Did I ever share that? I probably did. You know, me and my memory. No, I'm 63 years old and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so let me just pull up really quickly. I'm going to pull up something so I can show you some pictures, Joseph, okay? So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to look at all my albums here, and then I'm going to pull up one that has the most pictures, and then I'm going to show you some shots. So I cannot remember the year that I did Dolly Parton's Christmas. Yes, I can. It was 2007. So some of you may not have even been born in 2007. But here's how Dolly looked. Here she is over in the left. Doesn't she look beautiful? Down, just opposite her, sitting down, is Burl Ives. And this is Dolly Parton's Christmas special. Over the shoulder of Burl Ives is a little girl puppet. You see her there? That is my puppet. So that's me and my puppet. And this was the reason I can remember the year is because that was the year that Disney Imagineering hired me for the first time. So they told me that I could not be a part of the Disney team because I had taken this job. And I yelled at them and then got hired. So here I am with Dolly. She didn't call, her team called. Team Dolly Parton called and asked if I'd like to be a puppeteer on her Christmas show. here I am. Now you see me. And if these pictures look a little grainy, there's a reason, because these are photographs. No digital in '07, no computers in '07, except for ones that were as big as my house. No cell phones. Well, maybe there were cell phones, but they were flippy phones. I don't remember. I think I still had a pager back then. You know what that is. If you don't, Google it. But here I am with Burl Ives, and here I am with my what I call my anti-hair device. That's a stocking cap here, and this keeps my hair from popping up. And next to him is another puppet next to Burl Ives. That's a little Beezer character. That's Bruce Lanoil. Those of you who know Bruce Lanoil, he's part of Terry's tribe. There you go. But anyway, we got to work with Mac Davis, Burl Ives, and of course, the amazing Dolly Parton. She was lovely. She was sweet. She was warm. She was supportive. She was amazing. And yeah. And I didn't take a lot of pictures with her. Bruce Lanoil took a great picture with Dolly. He was more, a lot of these people that I work with, it's more like colleagues. So I didn't really think to take pictures, but Bruce did. Good for him. Dolly loved us all so much. She loved puppets. And the first time we met her, we were singing Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer with Burl Ives. And she came in her tiny self with her big hair and her 6-inch heels. And she walked in and she said, "That's a terrible song. We shouldn't have this on my Christmas show." And she was just adorable. And we sat, and she told us wonderful stories. She told us the story of when she was doing, and this is, because a lot of times when you're on a movie set, be it a television special, be it a television series, or be it a movie, it involves a lot of sitting around. Okay, so you bring videos to watch after you've studied the script. You sit together. In fact, Mac Davis taught me how to play the spoons. That was in an off break. I visited Burl Ives in his dressing room, and he gave me a wonderful picture of himself signed, an autographed picture of himself signed, which I still have. But if Dolly had time, she would sit and chat with us as well. And one time Dolly sat with us and told us the story of Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. You remember that movie, right? If you haven't, she's pretty cute in it. I really like her in 9 to 5. I think she's absolutely adorable in 9 to 5. And it's very pertinent to today's issues in real news. So anyway, but you can't, there's nothing negative. There's nothing, everything about Dolly Parton is a what's to love. She's just the sweetest, most wonderful woman in the world. And it was such an honor to meet and sit with her. But we were sitting around, maybe having a soda, a coffee, something like that. And she told us the story of Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, where she was doing a scene opposite her leading man, who was what? Was it Bert? I'm trying to think who the leading man is. You all know. You can name it over here if you know who it is. But anyway, I mean, once you see Dolly, who else is in the movie? But anyway, she was talking about how she was doing a scene, and she noticed, because as we become actors and actresses, we become very aware without looking directly where the camera is. So for example, if I cut to camera 3, I realize it's over here, but I don't necessarily need to look. I can see it in my peripheral. Okay. Then I can turn to it and talk to you here. And then I'm looking at camera 1 in my peripheral. So you become what is called camera aware, right? So Dolly noticed that one of the cameras that should be angled, even with her face in line with her face, had tilted down a little bit. And so she noticed, as she just kind of peripherally, that there was one particular camera that was not necessarily shooting her face. And she smiled to herself and she raised a hand and she said, can we take a moment? And they cut on there. And she walked over to the cameraman who looked at her and she said, I was noticing that your camera angle doesn't appear to be on my face. Well, the man turned beet red because he felt awful. He felt terrible. And she said, but I really think we need to get your mind back up here, I think is the way she said it, and I understand, but we do need you to have you where your camera's supposed to be. So I'm going to help you out with that. And she turned his seat and she took his head and she went like that. And she said, that ought to do it. Now let's get back to what we're doing. Now, what is the takeaway from this, guys? What is the takeaway from this? The takeaway from this is you've got two choices. You can get seriously angry, make the set awful. And I'm not saying always you got to take this road, but Dolly took this road. Everybody laughed and giggled. He turned beet red, terribly embarrassed. You think he kept that camera where it was supposed to be? And did it with care, not anger? Exactly. So sometimes when you take the kinder, easier road, it doesn't mean that you are dissing yourself. It means that you know the situation you are in, you know what you need to get done, which Dolly knew, and she wanted to keep people amicable on the set. All of that running through her mind because as women, this is what we do every day, guys. Okay? This is what women have to do every day. They have to process, do I get upset about this? Do I do this? Do I do that? Because we had to worry. There were so many things we need to worry about. I don't need to go into it. But the point is you're processing, you're thinking, you're going, okay, in like a New York minute, what to do. And that's what Dolly did. And it was such an adorable story. It was so cute. But that's and I told her she was brilliant. I said, you are just brilliant. And then she signed my script, which if you remind me, I'll bring out next Friday and show it to you, the script. And I'll write down script. Dolly, because she signed it for me. And Ray Bradbury signed, the science fiction writer Ray Bradbury also signed a script for me that I also have. And I have to say to you that that script, Ray Bradbury was a very intelligent man. Many asked him if he would run for president when he was alive, and he said he was too smart to run for president. Can you imagine? He said, who would run the country for, I guess at the time it was $200,000 a year. Of course, now it's much more. And that was way before President Obama or the super intelligent presidents a couple of them that we've had. It's so Ray Bradbury said smart people don't run for president, which I thought was very interesting from a science fiction writer. But anyway, he signed a script for me as well. And if you want to see those signatures for any reason, just ask me in the comments and I'm happy to do it. Thank you for that question, Joseph. Bye, Bob. He's probably already gone, but I'll do it just in case he comes back. He'll know I said goodbye. Angie Floyd sending in a sincere hug to you and your family, says Tracy. See, good people here. You want to be a part of it because there's good people right here. What do you think of the new trailer for the Ghostbusters? I think they did a good job with the mini Stay Puffs. And unlike the female one, it feels like the original. Well, Michael, the mini Stay Puffs scare me right now. But here's the thing. I think it's probably going to be a very cool movie. Is it going to be as good as the original? Well, they've definitely put some components in that shows that they're very considerate of the original. So let's break that down, okay? First of all, in today's world, it's very challenging for you who are making the teasers or the trailers, as Michael is mentioning here, really tell you tidbits from what the movie's going to be like. And they always have to happen super early. So as you've noticed, these little marshmallow men are obviously CG, computer generated, which means that there's a lot of work going into the computer to create them, and they might not have been done. If any of you are artists out there of any kind, you're numbers person and someone wants to take it away before you've finished your tallies, you are a cleaning person and someone says, oh, by the way, I've got to go in an hour. Can you get the house done? And you know it's a 3-hour job. If you are a painter and they decide they want to take it in the middle, I'm not done yet. This is what happens to people who do computer generated art. The trailer people need it early enough to get people enthused about this new film. But because of the social media, people are leaking. People could, not are, but people could leak the film. So they're very, very careful on what they give people who do the trailers, which is like cuffing them. Okay, so you've got to do a trailer that tells you about the movie, but you can't have much of the movie because if I give you too much of the movie, it might leak. You follow me? It's a drag. It's an absolute drag. I can't imagine being someone who creates trailers. Plus, people who are doing the CG are like, they're not done yet, okay? They're still in their avatar state. They're not done yet. They're not done yet. They're not done yet, you know? So then their work is maybe 50%, 75%, and we won't get to see 100% till we see the movie. So I always look at trailers with a grain of salt, okay? I'm not sure I'm going to like these little marshmallow men. It's a little painful for me to watch that trailer. They try to keep them cute and stuff, but some of the things that they're doing to each other, it freaks me out. So I'm a little freaked out by the mini marshmallow trailer. I mean, some may have thought it was funny. For me, it was a little too much. But that being said, I'm not judging it because I've read a lot about it. And one of the things I am happy to hear is that they are mixing computer generated with practical, meaning they're building some sets. They're creating some practical environments and characters. I don't know if the puppets are all CG or not, but the point is they're trying to balance between the technology we have today and the technology which was all practical back in 1982 when we were shooting Ghostbusters. And that excites me. That makes me very excited. The female one, I don't know what they were doing. I mean, it was just a terrible movie. It just wasn't good. But the good thing it did was got people excited to see the original. And I love when all things go back to one. And this one will do the same thing. People are actually watching the original now so that they can see how it compares to the new one. And that's wonderful, isn't it, Michael? I think that's cool. So if I were to tell you my opinion, I'm excited to see it. But the trailer isn't what's exciting me to see it because I know enough about trailers to know this isn't the finished product. And if you, this is a great point for me to say, if you see a trailer and you're kind of about it, give them a break, okay? Because they're not getting the materials they did before social media was available and hackers could hack. Back in the day, they'd give you half the movie and then the people who did trailers could do whatever they wanted to make a cool trailer. You know, most of the time, I like it if you don't tell me too much about the movie. Now, Ghostbusters, we kind of know it's Ghostbusters, so they can play it. They have a little more freedom about telling us stuff. They can show us the new Ecto 1, which looks very cool. They can show us the little Marshmallow Man because we know about Marshmallow Man, right? But if it's a new movie, we don't want to know the whole story in the trailer, do we? We don't want to watch the trailer and go, well, there's no reason to see the movie now. I know the whole story, right? Maybe some of you will still go, but that's me, you know. My favorite trailer, and go on YouTube to see it, is the trailer for the 1979 release of Alien. It was an egg that cracked, had a screaming sound, and said, in space, no one can hear you scream. One of the scariest trailers I've ever seen, and I was so there. I was very sick. I feigned being more sick than I was, and then I snuck out of my house as a young kid and went and saw it opening day. That's how much I wanted to see Alien. True story. So I like it when you tantalize me with a trailer that makes me want to do it without telling me the whole story. To me, this is the creative genius of you guys who make the trailers out there. Another one that didn't really work so well was the trailer to the Matthew Broderick Godzilla. The trailer was so good. 3 men on a pier fishing, 3 old guys on a pier. I don't know if you remember this. You can Google this too. Look this on YouTube too. I'll bet you they have it, where it's 3 men on a pier fishing. And one guy says, I got something. And the 3 old men, they got the beer can and the hats, and it's cold and dreary. And they go, I got something. And he reels, he goes, it's a big one. It's a big one, And he pulls it up, and all you see is the eye of Godzilla, and then they cut and tell you the opening. Now, the movie was terrible, but the trailer was genius. Oh my gosh, genius. I gotta tell you, it was amazing. And we were heartbroken when we were there. It got us there. It got us in the seats. But we were heartbroken when the movie turned out to be very lackluster, not really good at all. But we were there. We were there hoping it would be good. So sometimes trailer will work and sometimes it doesn't. So Michael, I'm excited about this one because I've read about the background of it. And thank you for that question because are you excited for it? It's cool. So Shelby says, what was your favorite Muppet Show episode? My personal favorite is Harry Belafonte. It has some best jokes. Turn the World Around is wonderful. Yes, it's a great one, right? I have 2, and I couldn't tell you the title, and I couldn't tell you the songs. I'm not as good as you, Shelby. But Lou Rawls, where Floyd says, hey, Lou, good to see you, man. And Lou says, great to see you too. What's with the animal? And the animal's like, but he has a collar on. And Lou Rawls says, why does Animal have a collar or something to that effect? And he says, I'll show you. And he lets Animal go. And Animal goes, Lou Rawls, Lou Rawls, Lou Rawls, Lou Rawls. So he runs towards Lou Rawls and then gets yanked back like this. It's so doggone cute. Oh, I love that one. And then I think the other one involves a puppet horse, and I think it's John Denver riding it. I could be wrong about the star, but I just loved watching that horse work because as a puppeteer, I know what it took to make the horse work. And I think it was John Denver sitting on the back of the horse singing one of his songs and the horse is loping along. That's my other favorite. And then anything that involves Gonzo and his chickens. But Animal was my favorite character and still is close to my favorite character. And then Gonzo and the chickens are also very special to me. So Shelby, thank you for that question. Good morning, Judy. Hello, hello. Good to see ya. Michael says they are refurbishing the Matterhorn due to disrepair from age. Exactly. And if you think about it, in the early years when the sky buckets were going through, it was open. And they decorated the inside, but maybe not perfectly. So the water was seeping in. That's what actually happened with the Statue of Liberty in New York. The original torch, which you can see now inside protected when you go see the Statue of Liberty in New York. But the water was seeping between the Tiffany glass that made the frame and rotting it away. And the arm, it was going into the arm. And you used to be able to walk up the arm and walk around the torch and look at the city of New York. You can't do that anymore because it's so damaged and no real way to fix it. So Disney's doing their best. You're absolutely right, Michael, to refurbish, because once they enclosed it, that made it better. But they're, they have to, Disneyland is a small, intimate park. So there's that to consider, and also code. Code can get you. I know for a fact that here in California, if you don't want to have all the brand new building codes attacking you, let's say if you're going to build a house, you take it down to the bare studs, keep the frame up, and you can go by the grandfather codes. Yeah, so many builders will do that. That's what happens when if you have a neighbor and they're doing refurbishments or things, you'll see they take it down to like the bones. And that's as far as they go because they don't want to get too much of the heavy building codes. Yep. I'm in my drawing and painting smock today. Just needed that extra reinforcement. Extra love. Good morning, Deanna. The rumor has it that the animatronic Yeti will return to Matterhorn just like the original. Now, the Yeti, it's another good statement, Michael. The Yeti can be removed and worked on at Imagineering. And then he can just be plugged in. So you don't have to work on him inside. You may have to do some nice, fur touch up and figure finishing, as they call it, get the figure finish. But to get everything really mechanically working, you can pop it and ship it. And so I agree with you. I think he's going to come back and maybe even better than he was. So yes, you're right. Good morning, Bonnie. Happy Friday. Friday the 14th, is it, guys? Yeah, Friday the 14th. Yeah, wow. Time flies, doesn't it? It does indeed. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, Chalk Walk is coming up, guys, May 22nd. So what's that, next week? May 22nd? I think it is. Let me just look in my little book here. I think it's a week from Saturday. And I will be doing the virtual walk. That is correct. A week from Saturday, the 22nd, is the virtual Chalk Walk. So, yeah, I'm super excited to be a part of that and help Children's Hospital. I still can accept donations. If you want to donate, just let me know, or I can put the link up here if you're interested. But yeah, no pressure. I just will mention it because I will. So there you go. I never seen the lightsaber videos, and the design layout for it looks awesome. Yeah, I did not see the new one because it is a YouTube, so I didn't get a chance to look at it yesterday. As I said, was a trying day for me without going into details. And so I haven't seen it, but I don't think I'll invest in it. I like the old one that I did, but it's always fun to see the new stuff they're doing, isn't it? Super cool to see the new stuff, especially if the quality is good and they've really pulled out all the stops and done good quality. I hate to look at stuff and then the quality sucks, which is one of the reasons I'm in the middle of Hitchhiking Ghost World. Angie says, thank you guys. Appreciate it. I'm really struggling. Oh, Angie, I know. We are struggling as sisters right now. Just know. And our hearts go out to you. Try and do something fun for yourself, even if it's sitting outside and looking at the sunshine and thanking God for your life and being human and for taking care of your father, if that's your thing. Okay. I'm a God person, so I always thank God for the blessings, and that helps me feel a little bit better. Sometimes you just need to do different stuff. I have a class that I have been not doing much of because I'd rather be painting. And at this point, and it's an inking class. It's a guy who is teaching me how to improve my sketching. And sometimes when you take it off of you in the situation and you're learning something, you can escape for a little bit so you feel better. Or if there's a movie that makes you feel good, you can escape for a little bit, like Emperor's New Groove. Okay. If I'm feeling melancholy still today, and yesterday was very melancholy, so I sketched, but I'm thinking I'm going to pull up Emperor's New Groove and watch it because it just makes me laugh so hard. And laughter is healing. And it won't take it away, Angie, but it'll give you little moments of happy lily pads so you can jump from happiness and then you're going to feel it again and then something else. So it'll just help you to cope and be there should you be able to go see your dad. And you can stay upbeat and happy, for your father when you see him and not be worried. Okay. Because for your dad, he's going to want to, when he gets to see you finally, and he will, he's going to want to make sure you're okay. Because that's what parents do. Right. So watch a happy movie before you get to go see him, and you will get to go see him. It's just a matter of getting it organized, and our hearts are with you. And if you need us, just reach out. Okay. Bonnie says she's sorry, Angie, and thinking and sending good thoughts into the universe for you. See, they're wonderful people here. Attention, all living creatures on earth. Terri is one of the God's angels sent to us so we know what love and compassion is. May there be more angels sent to us and spread love. Jim, You are so nice. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was needed. I appreciate it. It has been a painful week on my end, says Grim Greeting Tracy. I woke from a deep sleep Tuesday, mid-flight, falling to the floor, trying to get up. Leg gave out and fell again. Oh, Tracy, bless your heart. I had a dear friend pass 2 days ago, and she fell. I'm not going to get into it. It's a little too sensitive for me. I spoke with the tribe today, and bless them, they gave me loves and prayers and stuff. But Tracy, I know what you mean. It's just sometimes you feel like when you're down, you're getting kicked. And this was the week for me, was being kicked. So this is when you have to take all of your inner strength, what little there may be, and fight to get to the surface again before you drown. And don't be afraid to reach out for help if you need it, because this is why I love broadcasts like this. Ask Me Anything takes my mind away from things that are going on in my life that might make me go spiral down into darkness. And the tribe helps me to keep it together. So the Patreon Terry's Tribe is a group of really important individuals who we're able to speak and help each other and talk about things that we don't want to necessarily have on a public page. Yeah. So if you're someone who wants to be a part of that, I really would love to have your voice in the mix. Seriously. Dolly is a very special soul, says Tracy. Burl and Mac were as well. Mom loved Mac. We listened to him and loved his show. Most don't know he wrote In the Ghetto. Yeah, you're right. He did. He was a doll. I mean, I never met him and I had not listened to his music. Full disclosure, okay? And wow, I just thought, let me see. I'm looking here now. I have a picture with him in it, but I don't see it in my folio. I'm going to have to do some digging because I did have one with him too, and I don't see it here. I was going to pull it up. But yeah, teaching me the spoons was a kick. He tied a rubber band around the spoon so that I like kids do with like they do with kids and chopsticks, so you can use them well. Yeah, what a great guy. Yeah, what a great guy. You're right, Tracy. Do you have any memories of doing Muppet Classic Theater 1996 Muppets Tonight with Clifford as the host? By the way, I hope you stay safe. Bless you and your family. Thank you, Shelby. Muppet Mini Classics we did where I played a zebra. Frank Oz, Jim Henson, and the Henson team loved to give me the zebra because I'm mixed races. Half black, half white. I love zebras too. Zebras are my favorite animal. But they used to get a kick out of having me play the zebra. So I played the zebra on Muppet Mini Classics. I want to think that back then it was a videotape, VHS. I don't know if DVDs were around. So it's on VHS somewhere. But I had a great time. And during Muppet Mini Classics, the Henson team without Jim could get tense, okay? And when they wanted you to work, because puppeteers are silly, they would get a bit tense. Sometimes they'd be a bit aggressive. Sometimes people could be a bit mean. Things are the way they are, but not always, but it could be. And at one point, I think it was Brian Henson who stood before us and before we started our day on Muppet Mini Classics and warned us to be respectful of monitors, meaning that TV set. Now, okay, here's something for you. Back then, the TV monitor had a back on it. It was a big, giant TV with a back. I don't think it had, well, maybe it had tubes. I don't know. But the housing, there was no flat screens is what I'm saying. Now you can buy a flat screen for $200, right? But way back when, they were big TVs. and with big backs on them. Now, if you've seen those or you still have one, feel free to bless yourself. And for a couple $100, you can get, but anyway, they had big backs on them, and people would set their drinks near these monitors. And so Brian was saying, don't put your drinks near the monitors. Too dangerous. If it spills, we got wires on the floor. Come on, be respectful. Finish your coffee, throw the cup out. Nobody, your mother doesn't work here, clean up your mess kind of a thing. Right? Perfectly within his rights to say that, correct? Because it was dangerous. Well, we were all getting ready to start when somebody bumped into a cup of coffee that was set on the monitor, and it went into the workings, and well, Brian wasn't happy. And he looked at all of us and he said, Who did that? I just got through saying, says Brian, don't do that. Who did that? And someone in the back said, it was me. I'm sorry. And it was Frank Oz. So Frank Oz had inadvertently put a cup of liquid on top, and it destroyed the monitor. And Brian went, Frank, really? I'm sorry. But Frank was sorry. But we, as young puppeteers, were so grateful it wasn't us. It was someone as big and marvelous as Frank Oz, not us. Because who knows? We could have, and that's kind of what happened. So that was one of my Muppet Mini Classics. I know, Shelby, you're kind of wanting to know about the fun and joy and But I think my reel is on my YouTube channel. So Google and see my reel, and it shows at the end, got to get that name, got to get that name, got to get that, we got to get that name, got to get that name. And I'm playing the zebra at the end of that. And that is at the end of Muppet Mini Classics, I believe. So that's what I remember from that. Yeah. Muppets Tonight was a different thing with Clifford. Muppets Tonight, the Henson Company had tried to do what they did with Sesame Street back in that time. I don't know. I'm not a Sesame Street authority, but don't you love Sesame Street? Back in the day of Sesame Street, they would call assistant puppeteers the night before and say, "Can you work tomorrow?" And I guess New York, East Coast, is kind of used to this because it worked for Sesame Street. It does not work for California. Okay. West Coast is definitely different from the East Coast. We just are. And you know it. I remember Jane Henson saying that Californians drove her crazy because we were so laid back. We aren't in a hurry. We aren't hustling. We are hustling, but we hustle in a laid back sort of way, she felt, driving on the freeway. Everybody's like, la, 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 la. And it just drove her crazy. It just drove her crazy, And because in New York, it's, and they're all in a small area, mostly if you live in Manhattan. So she was really having trouble with dealing with Californians who were like, whatever, She said it drove her nuts. We were just too laid back, but we are a big state. So anyway, so she said that drove her a bit crazy, but Muppets Tonight decided that they were going to try and do the same thing, where if you were the leading cast or the principal cast of puppeteers, which I was not, I was a fallback. So if they had group ensembles, they'd call me. If they wanted me to do a hand or a foot or be an assistant, they would call me, that sort of thing. Okay. No problem with that because I love being an assistant. It's special to me. And I love being a secondary character because I think they're more fun. So I had no problem with that. But they would call me the night before. And Shelby, they would call many puppeteers that are A-list puppeteers. I'm happy to say I'm one of them. they would call A-list puppeteer the night before and say, can you come and work? And many of us had already had other jobs. As you know, if you're A-list at anything, you're going to be a lot of times busy working for others. And it was very frustrating for the Henson Company. Pardon me, I just realized I needed to. I have been kind of goofy, so forgive me. But anyway, so they soon realized that the only puppeteers who were sitting by the phone and working for them, for the most part, let me emphasize, for the most part, were C-level, ones that rarely got to work. You know, you have your A level, your B level, your C level, because A and Bs were working elsewhere, doing other movies, doing other things. And so Muppets Tonight had a real struggle finding puppeteers to fill it by waiting till the night before. You really, in California, need to reach out to us a week before or a few days before. You know, give us 2 or 3 days so that we can change a schedule if we'd like to work on your project. Yeah, that's California for you, you know. Since the pandemic, I have had a couple of auditions that are like, can you do it in 3 hours? And I say no. Depending on what it is, a lot of times I can't. I'm broadcasting here, for example, or I'm doing something else and I say to my agent, it's too tight. You know, it's 2 hours away. They don't need it that fast, you know? And so, but a lot of times they'll give me, like, they'll say, Terri, the audition is, you know, turn in tomorrow. And one of those I really appreciated. They gave me the weekend, which I love you casting directors that give me the weekend. Like, they let me know on a Friday, I have this audition and please get it in by Monday and please send it early if you get it done earlier. And we always then work hard to get it early. But we need a little bit of time here in California. We're a lot, you know, we've got things going on. We have some side hustles going on. We have, like, I sculpt, I broadcast, I do all this other stuff. And so it's not just about waiting to act, because if I waited and let acting feed me currently, starvation. So we do other things to stay afloat. Yeah. Other than food and beverage, which during the pandemic wasn't an option either, was it? Exactly. So there you go. And thank you. And thank you for your blessings. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the Dolly memory. I probably have seen the special. Now I have to go find it to watch again. Yeah, Google, and it might be in my playlist. Joseph, you can check. I work hard that if it's on YouTube, adding it to my playlist. I haven't done any fresh videos other than live, but I'm getting there. YouTube and social media is a battle for me. I'm not going to tell, you know, part of me as an artist loves live because I go on and I get to talk with you and to you. But when I have to actually create a video where you're looking over my shoulder doing what I do, that sort of is a challenge between how to do that and keep flow going and how to do that, you know, because I have my creative flowing, and if I have to make sure the cameras are set up, check the cameras, make sure it's properly shooting, make sure it recorded, make sure I turn the microphone on, all this stuff that I'd rather not do. It can be a challenge. So I haven't done it. Right now we are working though. My husband and I is helping me, because I mentioned before, it took me over 2 years to figure out how to upload to YouTube. Come on, give me a break. I'm 63. And so my husband said, just because you can't figure out how to upload to YouTube doesn't mean you can't create content. So for a long time, I just created content. He showed me how, and I did it. But as I've mentioned, I think, but if not, I'll mention it again, I did not archive it properly. So I didn't list it so I could find it. I just shot it and saved it, because my husband kind of forgot to tell me I probably should categorize it, and I didn't. So what we've been doing, and my husband has been helping me, I've been helping him with, is he has actually got a new backup system, and he's almost done with the mountain of stuff I had. And now next week, we're going to sit together and we're going to see what we keep and what we don't, and we're going to start sharing it with you. So stay tuned. We're getting very close. very, very close. And I'm hoping it's a good sign because my website, if you go there, feel free to go to my website, terrihardin.com, sign up. I have little drawings there, but you're not going to find a heck of a lot on my website. It's supposed to be a work in progress, but the person who's my web designer has been very busy. So I finally reached out to her and said, hey, girl, let's find out if we can get that going as well. Because my goal is to get it done this year and it humming along like a true artist does. You can go look at my work. You can sign up. You can talk. You can whatever. Just a place where you can find out where I'm going to be appearing, all that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily have to stick to Instagram or Facebook or YouTube to do it. However, the whole thing needs to hum like a great machine, doesn't it? And right now it's got probably 2 wheels down and 2 wheels up. So it's kind of walking on its front feet right now. And we'd like it to be able to walk upright soon. But just bear with me because that's why I do these lives all the time, is just to let you know I am thinking about it. And I want you to have stuff. But to answer your thing here, Joseph, it's probably there. If not, Google it. But it's there. And if you find it, if you can't find it on my playlist and you do find it, give me a shout out and I'll put it in the playlist. Okay. That way you can look at all those videos from everybody in one space, basically my channel. Okay. All righty. Yay. Grim Goody Tracy says, I've heard Dolly talking and laughing about always checking the camera angle. She is one who I'd love to meet. She just is. It was a blessing. You know, I'm very fortunate because I live in Hollywood, California. I'm just going to say. I think I mentioned that when my dad was a phone man, he was the first black phone man in Hollywood, California. When people would visit us and want to see stars, he would take us, he would say, hop in the car, I'll go show you stars. Just that easy. Okay, hop in the car, I'm going to show you stars. And I think people were thinking maps to the movie stars home. If you've ever visited Hollywood, they have buses that drive around and point out certain houses. And you kind of hope that actor's on the lawn getting the paper in their bathrobe or something, holding a cup of coffee so you can wave at them from the bus. But my dad took them to the Hollywood unemployment office. Walked them right in. You could see them all because actor works job to job to job to job. And there were some major ones in line. Now, of course, the unemployment office no longer has offices, or if they do, very few. And so you can't do that anymore. But that's how my father would take the people that we were with to see stars. And they saw a lot of them in line, quite a few. People would just come back beaming. I saw blah, 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 blah. You know, isn't that funny? Yep. Yep. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, she's a lovely lady. I did not meet her in the unemployment line. But she's a lovely lady, and I feel completely blessed that I had the opportunity to work with her when I did. I ran through that door. I did not walk because I feel the same way you do, Tracy. Judy Moore says, have you been to Dollywood? Wonderful theme park and very different from Disney parks. Dolly's touches everywhere. I have not. I have not even been. It's in Nashville, right? I haven't been to Nashville. And I need to go to Nashville. I need to see Dollywood, and I also need to see Kenny Chesney. Yeah, there's another story. But yeah, I need to reach out to him. And he suffered a huge loss a few weeks or months ago, and I stepped back. I was going to reach out to him and see how he was doing, and then I heard that he he suffered a very devastating loss. And so I didn't want to bother him with trivial talk. So, but I am going to reach out to him in the next week or so. As Rolly Crump, guys, finally, I think we're going to get to talk. So stay tuned for that as well. More on that later. Hello, Adam. All I can say is I completely understand. Next Zoom call, I'll discuss what happened to me on my end. Just felt a loss yesterday. Know that we are here for each other. Hugs. Yeah, Adam, you always have my back, as does most of the people in the tribe. And thank you so much for being a little cryptic. I appreciate it. I appreciate that very much, because those things I want the tribe to know, and you to know that the Patreon page is I have a couple of Patreon pages that I subscribe to. Amanda Palmer, who seems to write all the time. This woman is amazing. Her blogging ability is unbelievable. She's amazing. And then I follow my friend Sam, who's traveling around in a van and showing me photos. I don't always get to see his stuff, and the Disney Dream Girls, but our page is different. Okay, I just think our page is unique and different. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it's a place where we can be that safe environment where we can say things. We can just speak what's on our mind and not be judged for it. And this is really important to me in today's world. I think this is something we kind of stay away from politics because people get very sensitive about politics lately. And I don't want people to get angry at each other over politics. It's not fair. So, you believe how you believe and then let others believe who they believe because we live in the United States and that's what we should do. Okay. Just love on them as best you can. I have a very dear friend in the tribe. She doesn't want a vaccine. She just doesn't like needles is her statement. And, nobody likes needles, but she has her, we keep saying it's, we'd love for you to get it because we love you and look, we did it and it's safe. We're okay, but it's her choice to make in the end. And so we love on her and I still love her very much and care about her very much. So she's brilliant, brilliant lady. So Tim Gillette, hi, love you. Glad to see you. Got my emails right, Tim? Yeah, really rough couple of weeks. And one of the things I will share with you that I shared with the tribe is that I am prone to rage. Like I have this much leeway between happy Terri and seriously angry Terri, and that frightens me. So this is not the way I am. I'm much more grain of salt person, but because of current situations and things, I am quicker to be upset. And so I'm staying away. But I want to thank you and love you for your invitations that you've given me to the mastermind. And sorry, I've avoided it for a couple of weeks, but I just didn't want to upset the apple cart. I figured you guys are so talented over there that you can do without me. But next Wednesday, I'll come. It's just been tough. So, but I will reach out to you, Tim, later. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Tim Gillette, the amazing Simple Easy Marketing. And if you want to do social media, Tim Gillette is the one you want to talk to. You guys are always telling me you love this setup that I have where I'm switching between cameras and showing you pictures and stuff. Tim gave me the confidence to get that done with my husband. And not only gave me the confidence did Tim Gillette and his team do this, but his team being his wife and mom pretty much. And the amazing cat Sifu, God rest his soul, was also very supportive at my first times. I've been with Tim for a while. And but also to be able to communicate properly with people who do this sort of thing, like my husband, okay? Because I'm an artist and I communicate like an artist. The thingy and the what's it that goes in the whatchamacallit that works in the doodad. Those of you who are technical are going, what? And as did my husband. I got an expression like, huh? So Tim helped me to use the proper terminology to communicate with people. And that's how this all happened here. And then my fly or die or never give up attitude, which I've always had, made me make it happen. And there's a video, if you do look into the playlist or look into my past videos, look for one it's called like a Facebook fix. It's crazy. It's like artist brain Facebook fix. It's quite entertaining. Doesn't mean you're going to follow and do it, but it makes my husband tilt. Every time he looks at it, he's like, oh, I wish that wasn't on there. But I love it being on there because it's my brain at work. So if you want to see something that's rather entertaining, go look for my Facebook fix. It's a couple years back. We've since fixed it with StreamYard, again, thanks to Tim Gillette. And StreamYard has been very helpful. So him and StreamYard. And but you'll get a kick. You'll get a kick out of it. Just go do it because it's so fun. Also very excited for Ghostbusters 3. Still jealous you knew Ray Bradbury, one of my personal favorite authors. Ray was amazing. And I got this job because of my dear friend Philo Barnhart, who constantly is one of the best animators I know to date. He is no longer a Disney animator, but he's always drawing and sketching, living in Chicago now. Facebook friends we are. And he did a little story for Ray Bradbury. And I did the voice of the lead character. I did the girl voice. Oh, we were kids then, man. I think we were still in, maybe it was early college. It was either high school or early college. And that's when Ray Bradbury, I was doing the voice of this little short story. Philo was animating it, and I did the voice of the girl, which Ray Bradbury really loved. And he sat with us and talked to us about the challenges of being a writer and your writing going to motion picture. Okay. And how the writer many times doesn't have a lot of say in how it's going to turn out. I remember for Country Bears, they sort of locked the writer out of the stages, which was, I felt for the dude. So Ray Bradbury said one of the ways that you can have more creative control as a writer was to do plays. And the script that he signed for me was one of my favorite books, Adam, Fahrenheit 451. And we can talk about it on the Zoom call if you'd like. But Fahrenheit 451 is about books. And when Ray brought it to the stage, it was phenomenal. I wept during a particular sequence and asked him if I could have the script because it moved me so much. I love books. And Ray gave it to me and signed it, and I love it. And I read that all. I just love it. But if you remind me, Adam, on the Zoom call, I'll grab it and show you what I mean. Okay, yeah, Ray Bradbury, real good friend. He took me to the house. We were over at his house. Philo and I went to his house, and because we were reading the script, and I was working on the voice of a lovely young girl. I mean, I probably can't even get in that range anymore because I didn't do it at 63. I did it at like 18, 17, somewhere in there. And it was great. It was a great opportunity. Another one I just walked through. Philo said, "You want to do the voice?" I said, "Yeah, baby." For Ray Bradbury. Ooh, even better. So yeah, we went to his home. It was wonderful. And he had books everywhere too. So kindred spirits. And just marvelous. Just marvelous. Found out we had mutual friends, which is also a very interesting experience when you find out you have mutual friends and you go, you know him, her. Do you like the new Groot animatronic? Tracy, I haven't seen it. You have to show it to me. As long as he's not the one that I saw when he was a toy, which looked like he was doing something obscene, I think I would like it. Yeah, I think I would. Of course, Baby Groot, of course, is my favorite. And you know that I did a Baby Groot, right? For people to collect because you all were like, Groot, 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 Groot. So I said, okay. And one girl, I think I mentioned, she said, if you sculpt Groot, it will be Groot as opposed to others doing it, which of course had me at hello. She knew just what to say, didn't she? Let me see if I can find it here. He's not there. He's not there. My little baby's not there. I don't see him there either. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. He needs to be in here. My poor little baby's not in here. Well, I mean, he may be in here, but he's not under the categories that he needed to be under. So I need to get that fixed. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Here's his clay. Ba-bam. Here's the clay of my little baby Groot. And then here's my little baby Groot. So there he is. He's about, 4.5, 5 inches tall, sitting. And what I do with my impressions is just look at the characters, and then I do my impression of what the characters would be doing. So he's just sitting and chilling, looking at you with love. So there's my little guy for you if you like Groot. Miss Tracy, there you go. Michael Joseph Luzzy, how are you? I just read my chat report. I'm going to stop right now worrying about some sort of familiar AP program returning because it ain't gonna happen. MJ, you are very wise. The whole point of sunsetting, I've come to really dislike that word, was to get rid of the supposed freeloaders who come to the park because they don't have to pay for parking and then don't spend a dime on anything. Like I've said so many times, I would like the suits to pay my Disney Visa card bill every month. So I'm sure my target. Yeah. Uh, See, here's the thing about having a pass. I can't imagine that you don't spend any money when you are a pass holder. You're eating there. Okay, maybe some of you. I know I had a couple friends who brought their lunch, but you're at least getting, or maybe you brought a water bottle. And all you're drinking is water bottle, but I don't know. I always eat there at Disneyland because I love the food. And many of you have said the same thing. You love the food, so you're buying the food, right? And you're maybe you're not buying the products, but lately, what kind of, Disney, come on now, have your products been up to par? Because I know Disney collectors of all ages, and if your quality in your work was better, ba-bam, they'd be doing it. I'd be doing it. You get people like Kevin and Jody who were doing some really amazing pieces for the 50th anniversary. People were buying them up like hotcakes, So maybe you need better quality coming through at an affordable price, okay? You don't need to go to a Chinese garage sale for your stuff. You don't need to do it. Just bring in some artists like yours truly that can do some stuff that people will buy and benefits the company. So you need to take a little blame for this, guys. I don't think it's all on the pass holders. All right. Pass holders used to 50th anniversary. Check your stats. 50th anniversary, Disney, and see if the pass holders weren't buying a lot of stuff during the 50th anniversary, because that stuff was cool. And then let me just say one little thing. If you happen to be watching me, Disney, bring back Disney dollars. Then reach out to artists like me and let us illustrate one for you. Make it limited. They buy it and they don't spend it. Do you? You don't. Why did you do gift cards? Gift cards are not the same. Gift cards, people, so what? Okay? With the exception of the Galaxy Edge gift cards, those are different. But my point is, Disney dollars, Disneyland currency, should have never really made it go away. That was a cash money cow. And easy to bring back. And I'm saying, me, I want to illustrate one. Maybe what I'll do is illustrate some and post them on Instagram and social media so that Disney can get excited and maybe they'll do them again. Because I think this was one of their biggest mistakes, is not really implementing Disney dollars in all of their parks. Because guess what you would do as collectors? Go to every single park and the cruise lines and collect them. Exclusive cruise line Disney dollars, exclusive Wonder Cruise Line Disney dollars, exclusive Magic Cruise Line Disney dollars. And people would jump from cruise to cruise to cruise or trade with each other. You see what I'm saying, Disney? Huh? It doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. It really doesn't. Simple, easy. And if they want to spend them, they spend them. But if they don't want to spend them, they do what most pass holders do, which is collect them. The Disney dollars were beautiful. 50th anniversary, Charles Boyer? Yeah. Did a $50 collectible Disney dollar, sold out in a New York minute, $50. Guess how much money that was? I think they had a 500, limited edition 500 times 50. You do the math. How many of those do you think people actually spent? 0. Just saying, Disney. You don't have to do anything big, major, expensive like a new lightsaber. You really don't. I mean, we love the lightsaber, but you don't have to get that involved. Keep it simple. And people will just love it. And then your pass holders would be spending more money without you charging them and penalizing them because they don't go in and buy. They may not be going in and buying because there's not stuff that is intriguing them. Not like during the 50th. I know the 60th was like, So the presentation was great, but the merchandise? Come on, guys. You could do better than that. You're Disney. You got this. You seriously have got this. Right? Right. So I have to agree with Michael here. You don't necessarily have to stick it to the pass holder. You just have to make the pass holder want more stuff. And you're welcome to put my stuff back in the park. Just give me a call. You see how I segued into that? Shameless. Shameless. Wasn't that shameless? That was shameless. Wait, just got here. I had a meeting at my son's school. Let's start over. Hi, Richard. You can watch it over. Yeah. Well, the beginning was just, Disney stuff, like pass holder is going to be more expensive, calling it a different name, and a new lightsaber, and the Matterhorn. So there's the recap for you, my love. Thank you for joining us. Adam, it's the headaches from the OSHA code to why those people mover tracks are still there. Yeah. Well, Adam, they did the rocket rods and they didn't test the track. The rocket roads were going around so fast, it was cracking the track. I was an Imagineer at that time, like in-house Imagineer. And that's what was happening. That's one of the reasons the rocket rods had to stop, because they just thought, hey, let's put rocket rods on this track. And it was a people mover track. Different criteria. Yeah, serious, true story. Yep. True story. Have you heard about the myth that you couldn't scream on roller coaster due to COVID concerns? At least I think it's a myth. I'm not sure. Well, they didn't want you to sing or scream. Now that we have more vaccines happening, I'm sure that's going to shift. But in a mask, I don't know if that really works so well. We have these great masks. I'm going to use it for my chalk walk because I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking. I'm going to run by myself. But it's beautiful. It has air fizzlers, but this is the way it sounds. It's very hard to understand. Very hard to understand somebody under this. You kind of be like Darth Vader. If you want to Google something fun and you haven't before, Google Hardware Wars, which was one of my favorite parodies of all time. And that's exactly what happens is Darth Vader is and Obi-Wan is going, what are you saying? Does anybody understand him? Anybody know what he's saying? It's terribly cute and adorable. Hardware Wars. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. It is adorable. I had nothing to do with it, but it's one of the parodies that I absolutely love, like Bambi meets Godzilla. So, like I said, it goes all over the place. For those of you new to joining me, it goes all over the place, but we have fun. Just keep your hands and arms inside as I take you on a ride. So there you go. Shelby says, Angie says, he's in Florida and he's in Florida. I'm in Iowa, so not sure I'll be going. Yes, Angie, you got to kind of wait, don't you? Kind of figure it out. One of the things that I hope is good, Florida's a little bit crazy. Okay. Sorry, Florida, but you are. And they got the anniversary coming up. Walt Disney World is celebrating its 50th, and it happens in October. And a lot of people are coming together to celebrate it. Not me. But I will watch it vicariously through others. But I'm hoping that by October, lots of vaccines and people doing whatever the CDC says they need to do in Florida. So they say safe coming and going, and we're clear on the rules and stuff at that time. I'm just praying that it'll be easy for everyone and that they get to go. I don't, summer is coming and I don't want to have an outbreak again. That would be just the worst. So I'm really hoping we keep this downward slide and get that COVID, nip that sucker, Oh no, Tracy, I hope you're okay. Terry hugs you and your friend. Thank you, Angie. So kind of you. Fine, she says. I am in Elmer Fudd voice. Just very sore. I'm hunting rabbits. I don't have that pitch that Elmer Fudd has, so I just have to be like you. I'm very, very sore. I can play the spoons and rib bones. Do you play the spoons on your rib bones? Just kidding, Deanna. Good for you. Adam says, zebras rule. They do, don't they? I was in a parade at Disneyland where I had a zebra hat. It's somewhere. I saved it, but I don't know where it is. But you know, when they were taking people from the audience and putting them in parades, I got to be one of those people. Absolutely loved it. I got to tell you, and they gave me a zebra hat, and I was dancing all over the place. And if you find that footage, don't be surprised. I was a lot heavier then. I lost quite a bit of weight, kept most of it off, but I was heavier then and had short hair, which made me look even bigger. So not anymore though, but so don't be shocked if you see it. I'm praying that things will get better for both Angie and Tracy and anyone else who is having a difficult time. Thank you, Joseph. That's very kind of you. Adam says, considering how close those monitors were to your face at the time during Muppets Mini Classics, I'm just glad none of you were electrocuted. Well, this monitor I'm talking about, Adam, was a large monitor that people like Brian Henson, the producers of Muppet Mini Classics, and those people were watching. It was a big monitor. The little monitors we have, there's no room to put any kind of drink on them. And we're moving them around so fast, you'd never put anything on top of those. But to just clarify, it was a big monitor on a box, and then it's rolled around so that production can watch what we're doing on stage. And it was one of those monitors that went, which is why Frank Oz had put his coffee on it, because he was one of the people that views and helps us if we have a certain cross that we're having challenges with or anything. He jumps in. He always jumps in and helped us out in a kind way. Some people would just yell at you or look at you funny, and Frank was always cool. He was always really, really sweet and nurturing. That's tough at Angie Floyd, that you are far away from him. And even if there are restrictions, make it harder. I can empathize. My mom was on vent for a few times. It's petrifying. Yeah, Angie. I mean, yeah, Angie. And Tracy's right. My hairdresser's mother had to go through a pretty heavy surgery. And then she had complications from the surgery. And he's here in California and she was in Kansas. And he won't fly yet. So he couldn't be there, and he's a real bulldog. So, you know, you want to be there for your family to be the bulldog. And unfortunately, he had brothers and sisters in Kansas, but he's still worried about her. And luckily she pulled through, which is why I'm telling you this story. She pulled through. She's better now. The team that was there took very good care of her, family and friends that were there, sent his love and gave theirs. And so it all turned out for the better. So that's what we're hoping for you. And thank you, Tracy, for those good words. Very, very kind of you to bring that up. I message you a design of the saber that you can watch later. Thank you, Tracy. I will. Thank you for messaging it to me. I'll get on it. I need things that perk me up. Yeah. Okay, Adam says the whole Muppets Tonight scheduling sounds nuts, especially since, if I'm correct, Elmo in Grouchland and Muppets from Space was being made at the same time. Close, yeah, probably very close. I know that at the time, There we go. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, is your reel on your channel or your website? The reel is on I don't know. It's not on my website yet because my website was supposed to be in progress. It's not yet, but it will. And it will be soon. You know, you got to take everything with a grain of salt with pandemic. And also, what else was I going to say? But it could be on my YouTube channel. Just look in my playlist and see. And if not, it will be. I will put the reel on there. It's kind of long. It's like 6 minutes. Back in the day, my husband would say 3 minutes is better. And I kept saying 6 minutes about the best I could do. Now I look through it and go, oh, it's so long. I really need to do a new reel, which we're planning on. That's why we're bringing in content, because as a speaker, I need a reel. As a performer, I need a reel. And so this is why we use the pandemic to bring all this stuff together, because we had time to do so. So thank you for that. But Shelby, just keep on me. Okay. Keep reminding me, especially after this week. Reason I said, oh dear, Facebook fed crashed on my end. At least YouTube is still running. Yeah. There was something that was really weird, happening here. And I'm a grain of salt. I just really fight to get it. And I think I got it. So it should be better. It should be better. So Adam, you know, we should have you back. Video is being a brat today, says Deanna. Yeah. You know, it's so funny because it's either because my husband and I, he's on vacation next week, and we're going to look at this whole system and make sure it's not me. It's not my fault. Because, you know, it could be. It's been a while since we've looked over everything. Usually we used to do it once a week. And is today 14th? Okay, it's probably, okay, it's people walking around outside my studio. Anyway, we're going to see if the video is, because Lindsay was telling me the past few Fridays it's glitched. So we're doing the best we can, but we'll look at our system and make sure it's not us. It could just be the power of the universe. And if it is, thank you for having a grain of salt, Deanna. Really, really grateful. VJ, hey, hi, I'm doing good. Well, hello, India. How are you guys out there? We have been sending tons of love your way, prayers your way, hope your way, because we hear India is struggling so hard under COVID. And I'm so glad you joined us today, VJ. Thank you, because we want you to know we love you and we want you to stay safe. And we just don't get how India's manufacturing vaccine and not being able to take it themselves. It seems like you'd put the mask on yourself before helping others, but apparently your hands are tied. So we just want to tell you in India, I love you and thank you for joining us today, and be safe, VJ. I'm just you couldn't have picked a better day to pop in and say hello. You just don't know what that means to me. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please join, please subscribe, because I'd love to hear from you more. I'm just so touched that you chimed in. I'm proud to remember having black white TV as an everyday TV. So true, Tracy. Get up to turn the channel, changing it from VHF to UHF. Oh my gosh, you're taking me back. Foil and hangers, getting reception just right to clear the picture. LOL. Yeah, rabbit ears, right? Yeah. Oh, isn't it funny? Do you know that apparently there are still one of the VHS or UHF channels? My neighbor down the street has a classic antenna on his house. He does no streaming whatsoever. He does the free channels that apparently are floating in space with either VHF or UHF. I don't know if you've tried it. I haven't tried it, but he did. And he showed me in his home, not recently because pandemic, but before the pandemic, he took me in and he ran me through channels that were free. He doesn't even have he doesn't pay for anything. Oh, he may now, but he was quite proud about like 101 channels in this same process. So it's not dead. Yeah, really. It's pretty doggone cool when you think about it. Thank you for and the black and white. Remember we were talking about Bewitched? I think this is why Agnes Moorehead was wearing lime green and lavender in the first season. So it would show up on black and white because most people still had black and white TVs when they were shooting the show, my husband said. So no wonder it looked like, what the heck is she wearing? Because she was doing it for black and white. So now we look at it and we go, ugh. Because you remember, if you guys haven't done it on Disney Plus, watched Assembly or Assembled, it's got 2 episodes so far on it, and it talks about how they made WandaVision, which is the better of the 2. No offense to Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but this one on WandaVision is really cool. And they talk about what colors they wore to make the black and white so vibrant. And they actually had a conversation with Dick Van Dyke about his show. So it's really cool. You gotta catch it. It's really, really good. Another reason to be a part of Disney Plus. I just think Disney Plus is so much fun. I watched 22 versus Earth, a little short. I love the little shorts. They're so cute. Some of them are just weird. They begin and then they sort of just fall off, but you go, okay, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's eh. So yeah, video is back, is fine. Love Fahrenheit 451. Thank you, Adam. Actually made an anti-censorship art piece inspired by it. I'll try to show it, you guys. I'd love that, Adam. On the Zoom, let me know and we'll schedule it, okay? All right. I'm also a fan of his short story, The Halloween Tree. Yeah, excellent, right? Yes. So good, so good, so good. Ray Bradbury was one of the best. He still is one of my favorite writers as well. Yeah, Fahrenheit 451 being my favorite. And we got to, maybe on the Zoom call, we can talk a little bit about the script for the play, because the play is amazing. You remember the captain. So Fahrenheit 451, if some of you are actually here that don't know who Ray Bradbury is, or if you don't know his work, which is possible, Fahrenheit 451 is about the temperature that books burn. And there are characters called the librarians, and they are not or firemen, but they go to burn books, not necessarily to put out fires. So in the movie, which is not that great, the captain is a certain kind of character. In the play, they expand the captain, and it's a great character. He becomes my favorite character in the play, is the captain of the fire brigade. And it's great. It's great. I'm not going to, but maybe on Zoom we can talk about that, Adam. I'm more than happy to chat that up with you. I'm missing you, Groot. Thank you, Tracy. You're the best. It's baby Groot that will walk around in the park. Oh, that's going to be cute. Like the Velociraptors at Universal Studios. Have you seen those? Woo-hoo! Scary. Fun. Really fun. I felt for the Velociraptors because, they do like humid climates, but it got pretty hot for the Velociraptors. And I kind of wondered if maybe they should have more air conditioning and, when we get really hot out here. But I would love that. That would be great. See, you do miss. Now many people say Disney dollars aren't completely gone, but they need to come back with a vengeance. Maybe that's what we'll do. I'm going to write that down. I think that's even a more fun project than some of the others we've been talking about. I'm going to write it down. I think that would be a fun thing that we could do as a group on Terry's Tribe, is design Disney dollars. Yes, indeed. I'll pull a couple up. I did not buy Charles. I wasn't about to get in on that $50 thing, because there were so many people who loved them. But somewhere I have my Pirates of the Caribbean Disney dollars. They were $20, and I took them with me to Japan and gave them as gifts when I toured Japan and spoke at the Disney in Tokyo Disneyland, and they wouldn't take them. They thought they were real money. Well, they are real money, but they don't work in Tokyo Disneyland. They only work at Disneyland. But I told them it was a collectible through my translator, and then they took them. And I signed them on the side, like I didn't have anything to do with them, but I signed them so they would remember. Nice little note, made something cool. because I believe when you travel and people are taking care of you, you give those that take care of you in places where you travel a gift. And the Disney dollars are also very easy to take with you and give as gifts, aren't they? Note to Disney, another cool thing. Because the pins can get heavy. I've watched you guys in your pin collections. You kind of walking like this because the pins are so heavy on your shoulder, right? Or the coat. I remember meeting a guy who collected only Donald Duck pins. I met him in the parking lot of Walt Disney World, and he let me hold his jacket. I was like, oh my God. So another reason these Disney dollars are fun to collect, to share, to trade, to keep, to show off is because they're light. Not that pin collecting is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're someone who wants something a little lighter weight to collect, or when you're flying on a plane, wouldn't that be cool to have those? Hopefully they're listening. Is Disney listening? I tell you, I'm going to start doing some Disney dollar designs. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, Tracy. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Goddess Patina, hello, my dear. She says, Melissa here. I had 2-day ticket and used it 2 Tuesdays in a row. The cost for those 2 days, including room and food, was more than my 1-year pass. I had the signature pass with Christmas blackout. That was mine. That was mine too. That was mine, Melissa. There you go. This is what Michael Luzzy, MJ Luzzy is saying. I just know that Walt didn't want it completely for the rich. That is not what his design idea was. And I know some Disney people are saying it's not about Walt, but it is about Walt, isn't it? We don't want to erase Walt. And there's some things that I think, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to borrow trouble. I'm going to wait. But it doesn't sound promising, does it? No. Daniel DeMeyer, how are you, darling? Miss you in the tribe. Hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Yeah, come and see us on the tribe, would you? We miss you, man. We want to know how you're doing. And speaking of Groot, Tracy, let me just show you, because Daniel's here. Dan DeMeyer's here. I'm going to show you another one that I did that I'm very proud of. I really need to get it in my commissions section, but I will find it in my regular photos. See, I got to organize my photos. We haven't yet organized my photos that are on my phone or in my iPad, which is another big job for us to archive so that I can just go to this main source in the middle of everywhere and, get it done. But anyway, let me just give me a brief second to bear with me and find my shots of my Groot. I know he's in here. I think maybe he's farther down near the bottom. Come on now. I know you're in here. I know you are. Wolf's staring at me. I have so many concept ideas I need to get on. Oh, here it is. See, I went right past it. Okay, so here is Daniel and I. I actually made a one-of-a-kind Groot planter, and Daniel has it in his home. There he is. This is probably about 2.5 feet sitting, but you can see with me in the picture that it's me and Groot, and then Daniel has put that little plant in there to show you what it looks like. Here is another of me sitting there smiling with it. Isn't this beautiful? So this is his home. It's just born to be there. There he is looking over Daniel's koi pond. But isn't it cute? I only made one. I made one. That's it. There he is, the amazing Groot. Doesn't he look cute? Right here. So cute. He's very happy. But he's a planter. I only made one of them. I was going to try and make more, but the price point was a little bit too cost prohibitive for people. So I just sold the first one to the first person who said, can I buy that one of a kind? And it's got the certificate of authenticity with it. And he got it. So So if ever you want something made one of a kind, you never know. Sometimes I'll make it and then I'll sell it. And other times, if you have a dream, something that you want, you can always reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to talk to you about creating it for you. Love Hardware Wars. The moment I heard Paul Frees did the narration, I immediately enjoyed it. Of course. In fact, we were watching Spartacus because Spartacus is celebrating an anniversary, some crazy anniversary, like 80th or 60th or I don't know. It's a long time ago. But Spartacus has Paul Frees in a couple of places, and he has such a distinct voice. You go, freeze, 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 freeze. Lindsay and I did that. That was Paul Frees. That was Paul Frees. And you can run it back and you can hear it. So if you haven't seen Spartacus, watch it and try to find the voices of Paul Frees as he came in and did them. Yes, Tracy, it's a scream, and it's doggone good, isn't it? It's such a good, so clever, just so clever. I won't even do anything to spoil it. We can talk about it at another time. Go watch it, and we can talk about it next Friday. So want to visit Disneyland again soon. Yes, Kelly, you do. And I'm hoping that soon we can start to invite other states to come on board and go see it, because I think the majority of the pass holders I think a lot of pass holders came from California, but also closely lying states, like Arizona and Nevada. But also, and some people were bi-coastal. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that anymore, guys, is have passes both in, to have passes that are both in Walt Disney World and Disneyland, unless you want to sell one of your kids or something. And I don't think you want to do that. No. I got to dance with hippos in the tutus in a parade. See, Kelly? See, wasn't it great to be in a Disneyland parade? I had always wanted to do that. Leo Holzer, there you are. Here comes a question from Leo. See, Leo Holzer has come to the realization, thanks to all of you, this is my guess, Leo, so not being an authority here, but because so many of you are asking questions now, Leo can just put his questions in the comments. And so he's part of the group. We jump over there, we talk to you, we have a good time, and bam! And we're almost at the 2-hour mark. So thank you for being so interactive and yeah. So he says, do you fear that with the latest CDC guidelines that Disney may soon drop the mask requirements in the parks? Chapek seemed to hint that day was coming soon when he said yesterday new guidelines was a game changer for the parks. Yeah, no, not yet. Not yet. I think when it happens, it will happen. But Disney has to kind of balance, okay? If I don't see the masks coming off, Leo, until we let other states come in. Because why would you allow only California to come and then masks off, only to have us mask up again? You see what I'm saying? So they have to kind of figure out that it's such a dance, isn't it? But we have to be sure, they have to be careful, because all it takes is one outbreak, a few cases, and it could be a real problem for the parks. Let me say it that way. Let me say it the better way. It could be a real problem. So they have to be extra careful. I think our governor is saying that because we're going to be such good position that we're opening June 15th is a little nuts too, to be honest with you, because we just don't know. Other states are able to come over here, and other states aren't doing as well as we are. We are leading the country in our fight with COVID. But if lots of people come over and they're not doing as well, and they're not following guidelines, we know that, right? Just look at across the pond. They've been back and forth. They're trying their best to not be rubber banding like they're doing. So we got to learn from other countries too. Be careful. Mute. Thank you. I unmuted. Yes, it did. So now it's back. I fix. I don't know if I bumped something or something did it on its own. Gremlins. Hard to say, guys. I cannot tell a lie. I sometimes gremlins come and get me. I went mute. Now I'm unmuted. Unmuted. Yeah, I figured it. I found it. Found out how to fix it. Had to do some quick maneuvering, but I fixed it. No, it's all of us, says Tracy. Tracy, you're so good. I thought it was just me, says Kelly. Yep, it's me going. So I repeated. Hopefully the repeat that you got covered the deal for you. Yeah, sadly, I missed your comments on the Muppets from Space situation. Muppets from Space situation, Adam, just so you know, was that, yes, Henson is a production company, so they had all kinds of different things going on at the same time because they're a production company. Just like Disney or Lucasfilm, they had different things going on at the same time. So you're absolutely right. To do Muppets Tonight became very challenging because people were off doing other things. Yeah, A-list puppeteers. There were about 14 of us at the time. You could audition hundreds of people and the same 14 would be in the callback. Yeah, corral. The callback corral, they'd all come back. So I'm glad you said that. If anybody else missed something during the mute, just ask me now and I'll re-say it. Oh, good. You're such a sweetheart, Bonnie. And what a nice thing to say, you know. I am the same way. No streaming. Yeah. And if you can do that, how liberating is that? You know, I remember someone saying the online passport link on your passport, they were feeling that wasn't cool if you had to put it on your phone, because what about people who are like Tracy who don't have streaming or don't do that sort of a thing? Forgive my yawn. That came out of nowhere. I don't know where that yawn came from. Yeah, Bob, I did. And so if there's something you think you missed or you asked a question, just ask me again and I'll fix it. Thank you so much, guys. It's so great to see that you're all giving lots of love. And thank you so much for your prayers. I'm so touched by seeing all of your messages. You two be safe and love you all. Yeah, VJ, we're here. We wish that as people, we could do more. So we all, when we heard about India and their challenges, it was heartbreaking to us. We just couldn't believe that something was happening. And when we heard more and more, we're just very, very happy. We've been, I can't speak for everybody, but I immediately wrote to AARP. That's a thing for people over 50. And also wrote to my government and my congressman and said, get stuff to India, get it now, because if India isn't safe, none of us are safe. That's what we have to remember, is the planet is made up of all countries, not just our country. So as countries, we must unite and help each other, because herd immunity is nothing without herd global, immunity. We got to protect all of us. So VJ, our hearts are going out to you. We love you. And if, we are gunning, if there's anything else, anything else we can say, anything, because we're not flying over there. We're not flying, Many of us are still not taken to the air yet. We're still very cautious over here too. But feel free to join us and be a part of us and get love from us all the time, because we're happy to do that for you, VJ. Last week, I found a Disney dollar we saved. Yes, Kelly, and didn't that feel good? Indeed. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I have some saved because there was no way I was giving them up. And somewhere in my Pirates of the Caribbean ones, I just don't remember where. If I can find them soon, I will show them off, because they were beautiful. They had the 3 different ships, Black Pearl and the other 2 or 3 or whatever. And they were beautiful to give to people as a gift. And they were super, you could put them in your wallet. They fit really well. They weren't heavy. Oh dear, group planner is adorable. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I was going to put it in my yard. True story. I was just going to leave it for me. But I was afraid someone would adopt him, and without my permission. And so he's so safe with Dan DeMeyer and his husband, that I'm just really happy he's out there. He's got really great views and gets to look at the fish. He's very happy there. 45th anniversary was a parade I was in. Yeah, I think me too, Kelly. I think that's when they did it. We might even been next to each other. Who knows? Wouldn't that have been interesting? The new Disneyland Pass will be extended to WDW as well. Tracy, how do you know all this? Wait, I won't even ask. I'm very impressed. That is a perk. I like that. Of course. Will it take a small child to own? Disney's new activity pass. 1, small child age 5. Good with words. Sweet disposition. Bonus if she can tap dance. So WDW being included is great, but if it costs a small child, I don't know how successful it'll be. Thanks for backtracking on the question. Appreciate it. Of course. You just remind me. It's that grain of salt kind of a thing with the internet. I mean, guys, take a look. Why wouldn't we do a grain of salt when we're talking with VJ in India? We're actually able to talk to someone in India and send him our love and respect and tell him how we're rooting for India to be well. You know, just by saying it. You know, don't have to find a phone booth. Don't have to put a lot of coins in. Don't have to call. Don't have to have an operator connect us. You just say it. So if there's a little mute glitch or another glitch happening, grain of salt, and then you can fix it. And I'm getting so much better at fixing it myself. So there's things to celebrate. Indeed. Thank you for saying thank you, Adam. Love and prayers to you at VJ. Yeah, Tracy. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting each other so well. My family and I have donated. What we could for now to India. My mom is definitely watching daily what's happening since I was born there. Bonnie, I get it, you know? And I think born there or not, I think that's very cool. I think that when we see certain countries struggling, we do the best we can. And sometimes that's just letting them know that we're thinking about them, that they're not alone, that our hearts are there. We get the pandemic is still pretty big, even though in California, they're acting like it's not that big a deal right now. It may not be in California, but the last time I looked, there were 49 other states besides us. So, just weird, you know? Yeah, so it was great to hear today LAX saying, wear your mask everywhere, fools. It ain't gone yet. So, don't do it. So, what are you looking forward to for the rest of your day? I want to stay in this spirit right now, Bonnie. You guys have gotten me in a really nice place. There's darkness outside of this little bubble, and I got to deal with it. There's no way to avoid it, but at least I can look back on this and feel better. So today I'm gonna work on my painting. I haven't been able to work on my painting, so I'm gonna work on my painting. I could show you guys real quick. Those of you diehards that are still here, which thank you for being here. I can show you real quick. I'm taking this glass and I'll show you what it is. There we go. Okay. So I'm taking this drawing class and I'm going to show you really quick the homework that we had to do. So here's homework lesson 1. And the teacher is he's very good. He draws some beautiful things. I'd love to show you what he's doing. But he taught us about boxes, breaking things down into boxes. And when you do that, you can change the perspective. Perspective has not always been one of my finer points in drawing. So here is the homework I had to do. He gave us some photos that you could, pull up or download or whatever. And so this is in-class sketching, all right? And then he had us, break down a person using boxes. So you can see I did the box legs here and the box of the astronaut. We had to do 2 views. This is my homework, right? What's happening, guys, is my sketching is getting better. I did this one of a city where everything is boxed. So the people are boxes, and then associating with the boxes. And you have to draw in straight ink. There is no pencil first. So this one here was even more amazing. It took me a while. But to identify the boxes, you don't have to do the signs, but you have to look at the angle of the boxes, the perspective of the boxes. You can see I'm a little bit off here. It kind of goes like this. But this is like my lesson 2. See, it says lesson 2 down there for the homework. Okay, so he's walking you through it at your own pace. And then there was a dinosaur, and we had to break the dinosaur up into boxes. You see how I've taken like boxy shapes here? What he's helping us to do is then when you do the boxy shapes in perspective, it's supposed to help you when you do more freehand shapes. And then he talked to you about contouring. So here is something that we had to cut away and show the views of it. Cut that away, cut this away, break it down. I don't know if this is Meg. I don't know if I did that too well, but I did it. You have to just kind of bull through it, right? And then turnarounds. This is a turnaround, meaning I did a side view, a back view, a 3/4 view. You can see, and it's straight ink. So you can see my mistakes here, challenges I had when I was trying to do it, lines going over lines. And then the bottom one, he showed us how to, kind of do it across and then spin it. So here it's got the fork here, and then this one's got or spoon or whatever. And then the item is here. But straight ink, you can't do pencil roughs ahead, which I always do. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, because of this that he taught me, he now wants you to sketch and show different textures using only pen. And he gives you brush pen and the other one. So you're going to see how different. Look at these guys. I mean, here I'm drawing like a professional. I mean, look at the depth in this. So this is my latest drawings that I'm doing freehand, straight ink. But I think my drawing has just really improved thanks to this guy. You're doing this straight ink. There is no pencil. I cannot tell you enough how there's no pencil involved with this. And that's the scariest, most challenging thing. And then I did this lady. This is one of my recent ladies. I don't know if she's so great, but the idea was to use darks and lights, but again, you're drawing it straight ink. And then this one was the culmination of all my classes, was you had to take and create a scene, and then you used only black and white ink, drawing straight to ink to create. So these are all some of the homework characters that he had us do, and I thought it would be fun to put them in a thing. I'm really happy with the black and white here that I did for water. And then I'm trying to balance the dark with the light. Like, it still might be a little heavy, but I want you to look at it first here and go this way. And I think you do. I think you may look here first and then go up and then over, but that's fine too. So this drawing took me several hours. And then now what I'm doing is he wants me to research a project, and he wants me to do 4 pages of it. And his example was a gun. And honestly, guys, I'm not in the mood to draw a friggin' gun. I don't want to draw weapons right now. I'm too oversensitive. I'm too upset. So I did shells, and I'm supposed to do 4 pages of shell study. This is just the beginning of my shell study. I'm going to break it up into other shells, because I think I'll go mad if I just do this particular snail shell study that I'm doing. And then we have to post them on the thing. So I completely immersed myself into this stuff so that I could, sometimes I'll draw along with him to do stuff. So I drew, while he draws, you can draw with him. So one of the things that I did when I drew with him was I drew this brushstroke character. I did this Viking. He loves warriors. And then this is a tree stump. And this is doing just a brush pen. So my drawing is getting way better. It's getting so much better. And it's because I'm working with this guy. But to answer your question, what am I looking for the rest of my day is if I can paint and stay focused in a happy way, great. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to this because this class is a challenge for me. I'm not even going to lie. He is quite a challenging instructor, and he's really amazing. His name is Bruce, and he's really amazing. And I can't get over how many warriors and demons and things that he draws and weapons. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't want to draw vehicles. I'm not a vehicle. They don't float. They don't, yeah. Refrigerators and cars like you saw. But if somebody has me illustrate want to do an illustrating a street scene, it has cars, it has trucks, it has stuff in there. So I got to suck it up and do it. But my point is, Bonnie, that I'm so focused on getting that right because I have to start in straight ink. He doesn't want you. Now you could cheat, right? Because he's not sitting there with you. You're on video. You could cheat and do pencil and erase it. But are you cheating him or you? So I do it in ink, and it is a challenge for someone who is really a sculptor mostly and not really drawn. My drawings are getting better and better as a result because I am getting more confidence by putting just ink on there. He also showed us yesterday, which I loved very much, how you can kind of use dots to kind of rough out. You can kind of dot, 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 dot. The shapes and then put in the line after. So you can still do straight ink. You're still following the rules, but you're kind of laying it out with some, each, with the dots. And he's also wanting you, that big one that I did with all those characters. He wanted me to think of what I was going to do with it. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I looked at it and I was like, I don't, he was like, you could put warriors in there. I didn't want to put warriors in there. I was going to put the Viking in there. And I was like, no, I want it to be whimsical, fun, silly. A lot of them are characters that he had us practice. And I thought it was kind of fun. And I titled it, what did I title it? Not Misfits of Science. I titled it Motley Crew outing. That's what I titled that one. So that was the Motley Crew outing of all, I thought it was cute because it was diverse. It was, unlikely friend, it was all kinds of, I wanted to do diversity. I really am about diversity. And so I didn't want it to be a bunch of warriors and things. I wanted it to be diverse. And so I used these guys as my diversity guys. And you see, you've got these really super silly little characters here, which I can't even remember if he did them but we practiced doing them. And then the turtle down here, you've got turtle with the turtle babies down here. And then I loved doing these funny skeleton guys. This is a project we did, and I just love them. They're so funny. And at first I was going to make it kind of like this guy right here is wondering if they're truly friends or if they're zombies and going to eat them. And then this was all white right here, and I didn't know what to do. But he starts us off by drawing cubes and then rounding the cubes, and you put these silly faces. So I thought them tumbling made it kind of fun. And then there's the stump and a tree and another tree. I wanted to fill it with everything that I could. So it was, because he filled his. A lot of people don't do it, but I feel if you don't do it, how do you learn? So anyway, it's cute. It's fun. It's whimsical. It's upbeat. I just didn't want to do, I've had a really crappy week. I mean, I'm going to be honest. And I didn't want to do guns and knives. And I love swords. I try to talk myself into drawing swords. And he wanted me to pick an inanimate object. That's what those seashells are now. And he wanted me to pick an inanimate object. And many people did motorcycle. Like one guy did swords and knives. And I just didn't want to do weapons. My mind is not, and I love swords. But I didn't want to do guns. I didn't want to do weapons. I even thought maybe I could do a hammer because there's all kinds of cool different hammers. I didn't want to do a hammer. I was like, no. So I picked the seashell because I thought it was whimsical fun. And the reason he was suggesting, he didn't suggest what it was, but he did suggest, many people did like motorcycles and mopeds because we're getting ready to have a final project and we have to incorporate whatever it is. I thought seashells would be good because they can be like, if I did something in a house, they could be on the shelf because I have them on my shelves. They could be on a beach and be on. So it doesn't confine me in my final project when I don't even know what it is. I've got so many ideas for seashells. So I decided to do seashells. And seashells are an inanimate object unless they have a critter inside. So I didn't draw the critters inside. I'm just drawing the seashells. And he wants me to do 4 pages. I'm going to draw larger. But anyway, so I thought this really fit with Bonnie's question. The painting is what I want to do, but if I find myself getting frustrated or having too much time to sort of zone out in la, then I'll go back to here. This sketching class is real work. The painting is a bit freeing, but it's definitely going to be a me day today. Yeah, it's going to be a me day today because I need it. I'm clinging by my fingernails to this week. I would like to send blessings to all of your followers on here. Stay well and have a great weekend. Thank you, Bob. We love you too, buddy. Yeah, that's very kind of you. And I'm going to envelop that too. Sometimes being in a bubble for a while is good for our mental health. Absolutely, Kelly. So it's just how much armored is that bubble, right? So yesterday I needed a steel bubble. It was that bad. And so that's why I went to Bruce's class because I had to concentrate on this drawing. And then the minute I'm done, he gives me another thing. I'm going at my pace, which I have no idea what the other students, how their pace is. Don't care. Always mine. So that's why I'm doing these shells. And you see how smart it is. This is half a page that we wants 4. So I'm going to draw larger. I'm getting the feel of shells, so I will be drawing larger, but I will be laser focused. I have to be laser focused on this drawing class because I'm drawing in straight ink. So the painting is more my interpretation. So I'm hoping I'm loose enough that I can do that, but I don't know. I may have to go back to this drawing and make tomorrow a painting day, because of the state that my mental health is in, as Kelly has put it so eloquently. Yeah. Straight ink, I know. Sucks, Bonnie. When I started it, it was like, no. Oh, straight. I used to do it all the time when I was a kid. And I hated it because if you get perspective of it, you're like, ah. And the last class Bruce taught us was how to cover your mistakes if you mess up. And I don't know if he can see where my mistakes are on the one that I showed you with all the fun little characters in it and stuff. I can't wait till he cuts me loose so I can draw what I draw, because I'm drawing things that he's assigning us in a style that is developing. So we go from that warrior you saw in that turtle where it's super detailed. Duh. It's a Terri Hardin as usual. And trying to be a little looser. I mean, sketching from something I do. And then a lot of these are from my head afterwards, which is getting better. But I can't wait to be cut loose and just draw and see what I've learned from him. So that's why he's having us do 4 pages of whatever our inanimate object is because like on probably about page 3, after we've drawn from life or from an example, that he wants us to then maybe page 4, page 3.5, draw it from thought to see how the memory is happening in our hands. It's a really good class. It's so much better than the one I took from before, that he's really good. Thank you, Bonnie. It's been sitting for a while. I think I actually joined his class during the pandemic, but I put it aside because it was so much brain work and I had to do the ghosts. So so I jumped in, but I do those two things and then I'm jumping back into sculpting because there's a lot of sculpting I want to do next. I've got some stuff I got to do, but I don't want to be distracted. Those are my job kind of. So I don't want to be distracted and mess it up because I'm too, my delicate underbelly is showing right now and it's very tender and sensitive right now. Yeah, it can't take a lot of hits right now. I tell my students anything we practice, we improve. I usually mean math and reading, but you are seeing it in drawing. Yeah. Well, and I used to tell people, okay, I no longer draw. Sculpting is my wheelhouse, okay? And I can draw. I'm not saying I can't, but I draw dragons like crazy. So my dragons look pretty good. Okay, I draw them all the time. My cartooning looks like this. I did this Happy Holidays for the heroes of my so I have the ability. Okay, I'm not going to say I don't, but when I do like examples for people of sketches for their one of a kinds, they're very quick, they're very loose, they're not as clean as many of the things because I'm just trying to get the point across. So I'll show you some of my super rough from my head. These were note cards that I thanked everyone when I did the museum thing. I sent thank you notes. And these are my rough, quick drawings based on what people love. This is the Nautilus, again, straight ink, a little duckling. I had examples. This is what I usually do. So you saw my Tinkerbell tiptoeing across the map. Here is my example of which I showed to Disney as far for the 45th. That's what I showed to Disney to do the 45th, right? It looks pretty good, but you can see that it's not proportionate. I'm really taking liberties here. And then this was a Jessica I did for Jessica as a golfer. She, of course, changed, but this was the illustration I did digitally to show. And I showed the 3 points, her leaning on a putter or driver, and what her shoes would look like and what her pose would be. I, of course, changed that. But what I'm pointing out is that here's how she, let's see if I've got her. I don't know if I ever actually full on posed. I don't know if I have her in a full pose for you to see, but my sketches were a lot looser and a lot freer. And it was because I just said, look, I'm just drawing to get it on paper to give you the idea. And then I learned how to do things digitally, and they got better digitally. And then the next thing I knew, I said, well, what if I could draw? Because what happened is MJ Luzzy introduced me to cachets, and I decided that I love drawing on cachets for people, and I want them to be awesome. So what is my style? How does my style look? And this was when I realized that my sketching is vastly improved. So these are my dragon cachets that I painted and hand drew again and again and again. I did have some reference, but these are all my guys. So now I'm drawing. You could sculpt and put something on there, but that makes it bulky, hard to transport. So, and then you saw the ones that I did of Walt and Ward. So, let me just jump to favorites really quick. All albums, thank you. Let me see if I can find it for you. Where are my favorites? I know you're there. I know you're there. Where are my favorites? Here we go. So then I did these. This is Realm of the Dinosaurs for the T-Rex. And then I did these of Walt and Ward. Because I thought, I'd never drawn Walt Disney. So I did one of Walt and Ward. but these take really hard work, and I penciled them out first. I'm not gonna. Well, I did them digitally, so I drew them on an iPad. That way, you can go. You can do a pen. You can do a blue line. You can do a, you know, digitally is magical. So I'm never going to tell people not to draw digitally, because digitally is a godsend. And if I was drawing on an iPad, life would be a lot different going straight to ink, wouldn't it be, than doing it in a pad where it's down in really hard line. And it makes me think that you guys asked me before to show you some of my old stuff I did as a kid, because I used to draw like crazy when I was a kid. And if I can dig those up, I'll do that for you next time for sure. Okay. Did you? Yes, I did. Yes, that is my sketch. And that happened again after I got with somebody, and I did it digitally. Okay, so I have a picture of me like kind of like this, and then I sketched the lines out, and then I started eliminating lines to see how much I could get rid of the detail, and then that just magically happened. Yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah, it's actually trademarked. Yeah, it's a trademarked illustration. I'm a trademarked artist. How about that, Jez? Woohoo! Do you like his teaching style? He's very good, but he's very calm. He's very good. But I will say, I can't remember, the class was probably a little pricey, like $150 to do it. And the thing I don't like about it is that I can't own the class to go back to it. I only have like 80 days left to take it, and I'm only, what am I, 40% the way through, which is another reason I'm probably focusing on it. But there may be a way. They give you points during this class. It's called Class 101. And it's nice, but I want to keep my class. So you earn points for taking the class, and you earn points for doing so many classes in a row on a day, which for me is like, oh boy, you know. But I might be able to keep it. They might allow. I did notice that now I'm at a certain point level that I've earned for doing the class, that I can extend it 14 days, which makes 80 into 92 if I need it. But I'm hoping if I earn enough points, I can use the points to keep the class, because I'd love to revisit it. Once I've gone away from him, I started to draw my own, and then I go back and see it, you know, maybe even reach out to him and tell him how much, you know, show him my befores and afters, which is kind of cool to do for a teacher. But he really makes me think, and he tells you, you know, it's going to be scary, but do it, you know, do it. And he gives you what he calls mild, hot, spicy, and super spicy drawings. So I always try to do a mild one to get the feel of it, and then I do a super spicy, and sometimes they do not work. Sometimes they're so spicy hot that I wish I never had them. Judy. So I do like his style, but the class, I'm not sure I like the idea of not owning the class once you purchase it, you know? Yeah. In some cases, you may say, oh, the class wasn't that great. Now I own it. You know, yuck. But it may be yuck in the beginning, and you go back and you go, oh, I'm so glad I kept this class. You know what I mean? Maybe my head isn't in the right space, or some of the teachings. You know, when I did my first painting, I bought her class, and I didn't think she was that great of a teacher because she never gave feedback. Bruce gives feedback. He's really good about giving feedback. And so I have her class, but when I go back, I'll just paint something else, right? So I'm posted in there too. If you ever need a laugh, reach out. Thank you, Tracy. I will. Take care of yourself. Thank you, Leo. Leo, you know what I'm talking about. You get it. You all get it, don't you? Yeah. LOL. Thank you, Deanna. I like to doodle. Doodling is awesome. I in fact, when I do my, you know, I do the 10 people get together with me, and we talk about creativity, how to make a living doing what you love, and how to put that in and how to have a good mindset. Anyway, a lot of times if somebody gives you a notebook for one of these gatherings that you're at, they do line paper. I always do graph paper, the squares, just because of people who like to doodle. Deanna. I think the square paper is essential, so I always make sure I do that. 80 to 9 to 4, 992. Thank you, Leo. Appreciate you keeping me real. Me and math. Oh well. Thank you, Judy, and thank you, guys. It is now at the 2.5 hour mark. I love you guys. Thank you for keeping the questions coming. Thank you for keeping me in my safe little bubble today and talking about you and being able to be about you. You have done something so nice for me. It's more than tongue can tell. Okay. Words just cannot express it. So I want to thank all of you. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. I'm so grateful for all of you. And I will see you Monday. Have a lovely weekend. If you're going to Disneyland, I hope you will share it, how much fun you had. And if you're not, I hope that we'll open up soon so everyone can go. And keep the faith, guys. We'll wait until the ball has dropped on these passes, okay? Try not to get too depressed and too sad. We'll find out soon enough, all right? I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel so much better as you've done for me today. I hope you feel better. I love you guys. Be real, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay,